Hello and welcome to Cover 2 TV. It's the winners and losers of free agency. It's me, Chris Pajak, that's Steve Hall, and over there is Tom Jennings. So we're going to get straight into it. Jeno, who are your winners of free agency, mate?
Well, I picked these more because we were having a discussion about it in our group chat about who we were going to pick. So I know you had a strong opinion about this team, so I'm going to say my winners were actually New England Patriots.
Of course it is.
Well, of course it is, but it's also because I actually liked what they've done. You looked up why they lost the Super Bowl. It's because they had a very poor defensive line that couldn't get no pressure. They've improved that by getting Danny Shelton. Well, maybe he was lost on a Browns team, so I don't know how good he is, but what I do know is Patriots needed an upgrade there. Then they got Claiborne to go to defensive end. Now, at worst, can he give us something similar to what Joel Sheard and what Chris Long gave us? At least that's going to be at least something coming off the end, which is something we didn't have at all. And then you've got the sign of Jason McCourty, which I was massive on. I was assuming we didn't sign him last season. I've been banging the drum to go and get Jason McCourty for a while to fix our cornerbacks. He had a much better season last season than Malcolm Butler, and that was who we would have taken if we'd have got a first round pick off the Saints when we were trying to shop Malcolm Butler last season. So I just look at it and go, well, we're getting better in the place, and we're improving our weaknesses. And then also in the positions we've lost, looks like we're going to lose Matthew Slater, which is if there was ever such a thing as a Hall of Fame special teams player, that would be Matthew Slater. And we've replaced him with Cordell Patterson, who's another absolutely brilliant special teams player. He's a terrible wide receiver, but as a special teams player, as a gunner, he's excellent, and he also is a punt and kick returner, which also covers what we're losing in Dion Lewis.
You've got him as a loser, haven't you? So
yeah, I don't like it. I disagree with Jeno, and there were a few of those signings, like Claiborne, 9.5 sacks last season for the Falcons.
But
and stuff.
in one game.
You can see though that they are going to win. But I think does improve the line. But for me, you know, you've got a 40-year-old quarterback, could be 41 by then. Nate Solder.
Bad one.
I mean, that's a really stupid mistake for the Patriots. And listen, here's the thing. I've got them down as a winner, as a loser now, right? But that's not to say that the Patriots don't do what they do and they continue to make trades and acquisitions and they address these needs in the draft. But right now, for me, they are weak in a massively key position to keep that quarterback on his feet. Because if that quarterback goes down, that's the end of your season.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because obviously they haven't got a left tackle right now, and they've got two other tackles also in the free agent market. I assume they're going to get Waddle. That's the one I think will re-sign with Patriots. But Nate Solder was a starter left tackle. He was not a good starter. He was not a great starter. He was not like a top 10, top 15. He was maybe the 20, 20.
I'd say he's probably top 10. I'd say he's top 10. Like.
He's not. He's very... I disagree.
I just think it's a risk not worth taking almost, because you need someone to come in who's better than him, and tackles are hard to find now. The good ones are paid, and coming out the draft, there's hardly any, because the way college football is now, they just don't work. And you don't get time to, drill them in training camp anymore. You're not allowed to get, 2-a-day practices. Not allowed. You can't even talk to them until the middle of the summer. You can't get them in February, March, April time to, properly train them up. So that's a bit one for me.
The other thing is as well, sorry Steve, with the left tackles and anyone from the offensive line, because of the way the college football is now, and whether they're in 2-point or 3-point stance and everything that Steve said, you've seen teams this off-season go out and just get someone that they know can do the job. Yeah. And they might not be amazing, but we've seen so many busts in the last 5 years of top round picks on tackles that the teams are just going, we can't be sure that we can develop these guys. We're not playing for a potential good player here. We're just going to go and sign a solid one that we know can do the job. And I think New England have kind of reversed that and gone, well, they had a solid one. They've got a guy who can do the job, and they're putting the trust in, I don't know who. And that for me is a huge mistake, and it means their team's worse off.
And I'm not big on Claiborne. I don't think he's as good as those lads you mentioned before. I don't think he'll get anything out of him. Atlanta got nothing other than one game against Dallas, where Dallas were just, had me and you playing left tackle for a while. That was embarrassing, but he's never been that good in Atlanta, I don't think. I don't think he even sets the edge particularly well, which is what New England want from their edge rushers. I think Shelton could be good, but he doesn't get pressure. He's a run stopper, which is fine. That's Vince Wilfork.
They've run all over.
And teams run all over New England, so they needed that. I like that one. McCourty, I like, especially because it's very, very cheap.
It's ridiculously cheap. It's like $1.5 million for the year or something.
And Cordell Patterson will do well. He's the best kick returner, I think, in the league, or one of, so he'll be fine.
Jeremy Hill as well.
Jeremy Hill had one good season and 3 really bad ones.
Yeah, but I'm saying
there is probably the word.
When you look at the way the Patriots running back room is, what it is, it's a low deal. If he's crap, he's gone.
Yeah, that's no. I've got no issue.
The thing is, Lewis was an alright player, like, you know what I mean. And I think signing up Burkhead's probably taken the sting out of losing him a little bit.
We've also kept Patrick Chung as well, signed him to an extension. You can't, again, that's solidifies the secondary, which is something else you need to do.
McCourty though, he's 2 years older than Butler, and if you look at the grade, like PFF grades, he's nowhere near over the last few seasons. Malcolm Butler is the third highest graded cornerback over the last 3 years. McCourty's nowhere near that. They've just got a little bit older there.
No,
and now we've got a guy that doesn't understand the system.
Last season, McCourty was graded way higher than Malcolm Butler.
But the only thing I say with that is I wonder how much the whole summer before was in Butler's head. He wanted to go, they wouldn't pay him. Something was going on there.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think there is a drop-off. Compared to last year, I think McCourty should be better than Butler was last year. But if you said, Steve, which one would you want on your team? I'd take Malcolm Butler 10 times.
I would take McCourty. I generally would take McCourty. I think he's better. I think what I loved about Malcolm Butler was the intensity he played with. But he was never our number one. He was always like a 1.5, as in we put him on our second best. Well, now we actually treat Stephen Gilmore as our number one. Mm-hmm. So what we've done is we've upgraded almost McCourty as who was the one at the Browns, is now our second. So I just think that makes it better. I think obviously the fact that he's his twin brother is our leader of our defence, I can't see that going anywhere than right.
That makes sense, yeah.
And, you know, again, as I was tweeting out the other day, I hope they do some sister things where they swap shirts, change positions, you don't know which one's which. You know, that could be fun. Let's have fun on the Patriots. We never have fun. We just win.
And listen, I said it earlier on. I don't believe that this is going to stop the Patriots in any way, shape or form. But I do think that they're now a worse football side, and it is Super Bowl or bust over the next 2-3 years for the New England Patriots.
It's always Super Bowl or bust.
But it's more important now because you've got a quarterback and you've got no succession plan. So they have to make sure that, you know, trading Garoppolo brings success to the football team right now.
They do need to find a tackle, and they need to. They probably need two. I don't particularly think. I don't think there's any standout player on the line who I think an absolute worldie is. Tom Brady negates it by getting the ball out really, really quickly. That helps. But Nate Solder helped him do that. I think the Amendola loss, I don't think will kill them that much because he wouldn't play anyway. He would be he's a backup option for them. I think Dion Lewis is a big miss. Actually, I think he's a better player than given credit for. I thought he was good last year until he got hurt. I think he's better than Rex Burkhead.
That's the problem.
But he's always injured. Yeah, I think he's better than Burkhead. I think he's better than Hill. But like I say, I think they're a worse team. But in that division,
I think you're saying the offense is worse, which. Yeah. The offense comes through Tom Brady, so I'm not worried about that. But I think the defense is a lot better. I think the defense is better. Now we can argue who you prefer out Butler and McCourty. That's fine. But the way I'm looking is the defense is better.
Should be better.
That was our weakness last season. That's what cost us the Super Bowl. Is our defense. But and I think the special teams is tip for tap.
Because you've also lost your defensive coordinator. And that might take some time to adjust to. You know, those guys in that locker room, I know Belichick sets the tone for that defense and always has done. But he's always had great coordinators there, and I'm not saying that the defensive coordinator is going to be holding the Patriots back, but there's that voice in the room. Matt Patricia was there. He was the one who was getting something out of those players who got them to Super Bowls over the last few years. You know, you're bringing in a couple of new guys, and you've changed the voice and the leader in that locker room. That could be a thing as well.
I'd say that, but there's a reason why Brian Flores was getting head coaching interviews and was very close to getting a head coaching interview, and I expect him to maybe not even be announced as our defensive coordinator because Matt Patricia wasn't the first, even though he was for a while. So I can see him just having a season where he's defensive coordinator without the title. That doesn't worry me. Again, we've got a veteran secondary. That's all right. Deontay Hightower's going to come back. That helps us have actual linebacker. And then again, at the defensive line, which I thought for Patriots was absolutely awful. What you've done now is that when you're going into the draft, we definitely need a tackle. But outside of that, there's not a glaring need, which is what I think you want to go into leave free agency without, which is huge, massive needs outside of a left tackle, which obviously is a problem. But again, I believe in Tom Brady to fix that problem over defensive issues.
Okay, sounds okay. Well, we'll park the New England Patriots talk for now. Steve, who's your winners?
Chicago Bears, surprisingly. They're not my favourite team. I think they've done really well. I've got them on my phone, excuse me, I haven't got paper like you, I'm not as prepared, but what they've done, they've got a young quarterback, so they've given him everything he needs. So they've gone and gave him Alan Robinson, who I think is a receiver one if he's healthy, which we'll see. I think he will be. People come back from ACLs all the time now. I don't think it's that big a deal. They went and got Taylor Gabriel, so there's the speed element of your offense. They went and got him the pass catching tight end, so they can now do 2 tight end sets, which I think all rookie quarterbacks love 2 tight end sets. It helps them so much, so they went and got Trey Burton.
Kind of followed the Eagles model from a year or so ago, really, haven't they?
A little bit, but we've seen like teams do it. Just Jared Goff with the Rams just went and got him as many weapons as they could get. I like Prince Amukamara. People tend to don't rate Prince Amukamara. I think he's a good starter, and they needed someone, and they kept Kyle Fuller, much to my chagrin. I really would have liked him to sign, but
what?
Chagrin.
Not chagrin.
I'll go straight. I'll say my way.
I know how he said it. I say it like him. I have no idea how.
It's a word. But they went and kept him, and they probably the way they went about it wasn't the best. They could have just paid him, maybe, or just tagged him. But obviously they put him on transition. The Packers met it, and then they went, "Yep, fine, we'll keep him." They almost let the Packers set the market for him.
That was what they did. They didn't know how much he was worth, and they went, "Well, let the Packers negotiate, and then we'll just pay that because we don't know what it is."
They've got. I like Amukamara, so they've got Parker and Fuller and Amukamara at corner. They went and got 3 wide receivers, who I think, 2 and a tight end who's a de facto wide receiver, and Trey Burton. I quite like Aaron Lynch at defensive end. I've always liked him. I thought he's underrated. So all in all, listen, losing Josh Sitton wasn't good. I don't think that's never a good thing when you lose a quality starting guard. But on the whole, I think what they've done, they've gone, listen, we've invested in this quarterback. Our job depends on him. We go as far as he goes, and that's from GM to coach to everyone. You ride your quarterback. That's what your job is. When you take one so high and you're young, there's a reason why Matt Nagy's been brought in. It's to work with this young quarterback. So you know what? Even if the defensive side is slightly worse, just if Mitch Trubisky shows promise, you buy yourself a bit more time. Ryan Pace needs more time. I don't think he's been particularly brilliant there.
Well, the other thing with that, and why I tend to agree with you on the Bears stuff, is you find out whether he's your quarterback. Yeah. We've seen teams, the Eagles, how many quarterbacks have they gone through before they've settled and they've found a franchise quarterback? The Cardinals are trying it now. I don't like the deal for Sam Bradford, but they've put themselves in a position where it's a 1-year deal. If he's the guy, he's the guy. If not, we roll the dice again next year. And so many teams are doing this, and it's the way that the league's gone, because finding that franchise quarterback is so bad, and you can't find out whether Trubisky's the guy unless he's got weapons.
No. Definitely, and also they got rid of Mike Glennon, just got him out of the way because he obviously had started aspirations, and they went and signed Chase Daniel, who by all accounts, we very rarely see this guy play, but he keeps getting paid. He's been given another $10 million. He got 7 off the Eagles.
Him and Bradford.
By all
just loving all the cash.
Have they got the same agent, by the way? Just curious.
But by all accounts, Chase Daniel's a good backup. He's in the Josh McCown mould of sort of backup coach in the locker room, which would be perfect for Trubisky. So I think the Bears have done well. Listen, what does that mean in terms of wins and losses? It's hard to say. Because
not much, probably.
They've got arguably, I think, the Vikings are the best team in the NFC. And then they've got the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers as well. So it's going to be tough for them to do anything. But you've got to start somewhere. You can't just give up because two teams in your division are good, which I always feel that happens in the AFC East. For example, teams go, what's the point? New England are in, at least they're trying to do something. They're going about it. I've been really impressed with what they did.
Okay. My winners are the San Francisco 49ers. I think, for them, it started at the end of the season, wrapping up Garoppolo's contract, didn't it, first and foremost. You bring Weston in. He's been sound. He's a centre. He plays for the Giants for a couple of years. Injuries last year, but 2015, 2016 levels. It opens up that offense for Shanahan, doesn't it?
Kyle Shanahan likes his centre to make a lot of the calls. Yeah. He likes to keep the pressure off his quarterback. And by all accounts, Weston Big is that he's got that ability to it, so I think that's okay.
Yeah, I think, and I would strongly suspect that you'll find him out in front of Jerick McKinnon many times during the season. That zone rush offense with Jerick McKinnon, he can run that. He's a back that's able to do that. He's a good pass catcher. I've seen that at the Vikings myself. He's never been the lead guy, so there's still going to be question marks over him. But in a Shanahan offense and what that looks like, then he's put 2 pieces around Garoppolo that makes that better for me. And then the signing of Richard Sherman as well at cornerback. It's what's the best way to put it? It's a team-friendly deal, I suppose.
It's a very team-friendly deal.
So, he is on paper one of the best cornerbacks in the league. He's still top 10. He's questionably top 5. It's a good deal. 49ers have improved. They've got better, and you know what? I think they will continue to improve.
I'm just getting their what's the word? Depth charts up here, I couldn't think of the words there. What they've done in effect, basically, they're almost recreating what he had in Atlanta. So he went and got his centre. That's what he did. The first thing he did, one of the first things he did was when he got Alex Mack, because he needed to take a bit of pressure off his quarterback. He's went and got his receivers. You know, he's got a big receiver. You think he's got one of them. He's got Marcus Goodwin. I think he's a good player. All in all, I think he's tried to go out and just build the exact same team. It's like I need for my offense to work. I need this, this, and this. McKinnon's a big one. He needs McKinnon to work because he needs that pass catching and running back in his offense. The offense just stalls if there's no threat out the backfield. So if McKinnon can do it, and they have paid him a lot. They've got his fullback. He loves fullbacks. For some reason, Carl Shanahan loves his fullback. So I'm with you. I think they've done well. And like I say, Sherman's a roll of the dice. If it doesn't work, it's cost like £3 to £5 million. You're taking a $3 million chance on a Hall of Fame level type player too. Can he get back to 75% of what he ever was? And if he is, then he's worth treble that. So
even if he's not, just the improvements he can make in a locker room on having a winning mentality in a team that has spent the last 2 seasons getting absolutely smacked everywhere. In fact, more than that, 3 seasons maybe.
It's not been that big a dip though, really, has it? I mean, it's been 3, maybe 4 years.
The turnover's so fast though. The turnover's so quick because those at that time we were talking about a young Legion of Boom. Well, they've been obliterated now, and that's why you found a Sherman there. So I think just having a good veteran leadership, even if Sherman hasn't got it, at least he'll teach the other younger corners how to play and how to win.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big move. I think locker room moves do matter in the NFL. I think people underrate those kind of things.
Okay. Jenna, who's your losers then, mate?
My losers, the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't like anything they did, basically.
But they're going back to 98.
Exactly. Well done. Congratulations.
That'll work.
That's getting you 4 and something. 4 and 12.
But they've got big fullbacks in. Who doesn't want to watch that type of American football?
They went and paid 2 blocking tight ends and a couple of fullbacks, didn't they?
Yeah, they went and played. And then they've also, they got Doug Martin. Are you willing to take a gamble on him at this point?
Jordy Nelson,
I think Jordy Nelson was underrated by the Packers in terms of, I always felt it was like, Aaron Rodgers has no one to throw to. And I used to annoy the crap out of him because Jordy Nelson was really good.
I agree now. He doesn't get open, so...
But he got open a little bit more when he was playing slot last season, didn't he?
He did, but not a lot. He doesn't separate well.
He's lost that yard of pace, hasn't he? I think
he's lost that
quick step. So
and I always think with Derek Carr...
Will he play slot, do you think, or do you think he'll...
I don't know, but they've just got rid of Crabtree, so...
that was the thing I was going to say, is Crabtree always looked like the leader of their wide receiving core. And also, on third downs, that's who usually caught it. It was never really a Amari Cooper or anyone else. It was usually Crabtree who went to. So he got rid of his most trusted receiver, and Carr wasn't one to throw more than 4 yards.
Do you know what? That's why I don't like Oakland Raiders football at the moment, and why I don't think they've done well in free agency, because they've gone and got Gruden, and they're pretty much going to employ Jeff Fisher football.
Yeah.
And that's why it's not going to work.
Yeah. I'd be surprised. The thing going back to Nelson is, I don't think he matches Derek Carr particularly well, because Derek Carr doesn't throw contested catches. He's very, very careful. Yeah. He's very calm, and he's like, he'll take the dump off every time. And Nelson will never be open. He was never open for Aaron Rodgers. Early on in his career, when he was a burner, by all means he was. But if you watch, the reason he was so good was that back shoulder throw, that connection. Rodgers trusted him to make contested catches. Derek Carr is going to have to trust, and he kind of trusted Crabtree, but Crabtree was a big physical guy. Nelson's not small, he's a big lad, but he's not the most athletic, I don't think, anymore. At least he hasn't been in the last couple of years. I don't think that match works well with that quarterback. I think Crabtree was probably a better option than Nelson. Like right now, the difference is obviously to like a locker room culture. Maybe Crabtree's got something to. I don't know.
That was the reason.
He comes across. He obviously doesn't come across like he's fighting on the field a lot.
There's certain issues with Crabtree, which off the field. Again, I've just said Sherman matters, so therefore you've got to say Crabtree.
Nelson's he'll be a great teammate for sure.
But I think the other problem is they just seem to have got older and slower. That's not what you want to do in the NFL. That's the antithesis of what to do in the NFL. You do not get old and slower.
Just to play devil's advocate on this, Gruden, I think, he's probably getting slated a lot in many quarters at the moment, but he's seen everybody's playbook for how many years, do you know what I mean? Let's not pretend that he won't have been working. He was always great at drawing up plays. He'll have continued to do that when he was working as a commentator. When he's got access to that, he will have been thinking about how best to get it, all of these things, because you can't turn the coach off. And apparently, according to the players and stuff now as well, it came out a week or so ago, he's still got that fire that he can still change people's mentality. mentalities in the locker room. He's still a motivator. It's what he was always good at. Again, I don't truly believe in this, but there is an argument to say, you know what, there's the yin and there's the yang, and he's coming up with the yang. Do you know what I mean?
I can see, basically, like he's doing, the whole league's going that way, so we'll do it this way. I
don't think he's chose the running back to do it this way, though.
I think they've got two old. I think they've got two old running backs.
If you want to do it the way he wants to do it, well then, who's the running back? Because Marshawn Lynch is not the guy Chris was in love with.
Still am.
Yeah.
Still am.
Fair enough. And Doug Martin.
Doug Martin, you just don't know what you're getting with. He's just, he has one good year and two bad years and one good year, and you don't know. And then after that, Rashard or Washington haven't shown enough to say they're starting running backs in the league. They're enough to just role players. So without that, you're getting 3 yards in a cloud, you're getting 2 yards in a cloud of dust, you're not going to make those
they made themselves worse on special teams. They got rid of Patterson as well, who was a very good special teams.
Yeah, because he was a terrible receiver.
I think he's relying more on the scheme rather than the individual talent here, and I think he believes that his scheme will outdo and get him some wins this season.
All the best.
And yeah, all the best. I think you've got worse. I agree with the lads. You know,
getting older and slow is never good. It's never good, and that they've got old and slow.
Yeah. Stay, what's yours?
My loser, Miami.
Yeah, it's got to be.
I don't understand the plan. What is the end goal of all of this? So you
could ask that question for 2 years.
If I can ask the question for 2 years.
Yeah.
So, okay, so it looks like they're probably going to have to be stuck with Ryan Tannehill because it's going to be hard for them to get a quarterback in the draft unless they somehow get to number 2 by giving the farm away. I don't know. So, is Danny Amendola and Albert Wilson for a combined $36 million over 3 years better than keeping Jarvis Landry? I'd say no, if I'm honest. And Ndamukong Suh, he was on a lot of money, I understand that, like a lot of money. But you're worse because he was still good. Listen, he's a massive mercenary. Whoever gives him most money, he'll go and play. But at least he plays. He isn't one of these who takes the money and then just hides.
He's not Albert Hainsworth.
He's not. No, he still goes.
Those Redskins fans.
Yeah, he's not. He hasn't done that. I thought he was going to do that. They're biting the bullet now of the horrendous deal they give him because they give him quarterback money to play defensive tackle, which is just bizarre.
It was one of those things where you got with what you pay for, you just massively overpay for it because that doesn't win titles.
But then they trade for Robert Quinn. So you just downgraded there, you know, you replaced essentially you're trying to get your Suh for Quinn, well that's a downgrade, I can tell you that now. Amendola and Wilson for Landry, I think that's a downgrade. I've never been the big Jarvis Landry guy, but that was more because of his role rather than his skill set. The way they had him playing was just, like you say, 5 yards. And he might be more than that, I don't know.
It took him like 7 billion catches to get a first down.
So I just don't understand what they've done. So basically Hayes and Quinn at defensive end, no, not for me, I'm not having it. You're the Los Angeles Rams from...
And they lost the running back last season, mid-season as well.
You're the LA Rams from 4 years ago, or 2 years ago with Hayes and Quinn. And Quinn he's been living off that one good season for a while. And it was a great season. He hasn't done anything since. He's done absolutely nothing, so you trade for him. Fantastic, well done. And then I'm looking over the night. I like the Josh Sitton signing. Do. Kilgore at centre. The 49ers didn't think he was good enough.
Well, they did though because they paid him first of all.
But then there's a reason he got rid of him.
Oh yeah, of course. But he was a good. I think you know Shanahan spoke a few weeks ago, didn't he? And talked about when they re-signed him to that contract. I think it was just after the season finished, and he said, "Look, listen, he's a leader in the locker room and all that type of stuff." Now that might have just been bluster
He's not there now, is he?
But did you see the deal that they put him on? There was no signing on bonus or anything like that, and it was a dead easy to get out of. So
they went that convinced.
No, exactly. But I think they waited to see if they could get an upgrade, and I think they would have been happy to have him. All right, not happy as such, but they'd have been okay going into the season. But they went and got better, and they've moved him on at no cost.
Is he better than Mike Pouncey though?
I personally don't think so. I think that's a downgrade, but I don't think it's a bad move either.
I think you've downgraded in every position that you've made. Everything you've changed, you've got worse.
Again, what we've just been saying, you've got older and slower.
Yeah.
You've got older and slower. The same reason why Raiders, if I didn't pick the Raiders, my losers was going to be the Dolphins, because every move.
Albert Wilson's got something, slower. But I would never think Albert Wilson's worth the money they've paid him. Is he that good? He's good, quick. You know, he was good in that offense, but he was like wide receiver 4, and he was always open, and he was like a speed guy. You're bringing him in now to be one of your top players, aren't you? Really, you're paying him that much money. I never understand the Dolphins. They never seem to have a coherent plan to me. It just seems to be very reactionary all the time. oh, he's available, yes, and we'll do him. So, Jarvis Landry, yeah, we'll trade him, okay, fine. And we'll bring in Danny Amendola to take the slot place. Well, good luck getting Danny Amendola to do what Jarvis Landry did. He will die. Because Jarvis Landry got his head smashed in a lot. Danny Amendola is never known for durability. Last year was his first full season for a long, long time. I just think, I don't understand. I've never understood the Dolphins in any move they've ever made. I've always thought questionable, and I've got no reason to change now. And it's a shame because I always thought Adam Gase was a very good coach. I don't get everything they've done. It makes no sense to me.
Okay, any honourable mentions for anyone, winners or losers?
I like the Tyrann Matthew for the Texans. That automatically, I think, could make them a contender. If we didn't talk so much about Kirk Cousins last season, my actual winner would have been the Vikings, because they're my current Super Bowl favourite.
Sheldon Richardson.
Yeah, the Sheldon Richardson, that's done.
Vikings are definitely a winner in this, well done.
Yeah.
But, again, playing devil's advocate, because I don't believe any of this stuff, because I do think we can win now, it is very win now. And it has to be with that defence. You know, you get a short window and they've gone for it. And
well,
they've pushed all their eggs into the basket, and fair enough. Like,
there's going to be a few of them. Kendricks, Barr, free agents next year. Diggs as well.
Yeah.
Someone's going to go because you give Kirk Cousins that money. So it's now. It is. And that's why you don't get Sheldon Richardson now and just go, you know what, let's just have a go for this.
The one thing I think, again, I'll sit on the fence here and play devil's advocate, because I'd like to get your opinion on it, just to give a bit of a well-rounded view on it. Is Kirk Cousins better than how Case Keenum performed last season?
No, but I think I said last week.
Because I think he's a better quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He can't play better. I don't think he can do much better than Case did last year. But what was the odds of Case doing that again? That's the question. That's the
but to say that the Vikings have improved, he has to play at that level.
Yeah. But there's one other thing. There's one other guy you're forgetting about. Cook's back. The running back who looked amazing.
He really did.
And then got injured. He's back, so he's not going to have to play that incredible way that Case Keenum played. So I think that, as for the other teams I thought the Redskins were massive losers. They again got older and worse at quarterback and paid the wide receiver no one believes in. Yeah. And I don't like anything the Cardinals have done.
I like the Chiefs. You know, as a who else has done well for me, I think the Chiefs have kind of done what you were talking about with the Bears. They've put weapons around Pat Mahomes, and they're going to find out whether he's the guy or not. They've made some solid moves in free agency and stuff. Anything from you, Sting?
I wasn't big on the Ravens, if I'm honest. I mean, they got out the Ryan Grant one in the end because he failed his medical, didn't he? But
they're looking at Crabtree now, apparently.
Hasn't he signed?
Yeah, but they need receiver help, because they definitely did. But it seems to me they lost out. And I would have said the Colts. I don't think the Colts did anything that impressive.
The Colts have just
not
sat still.
Exactly, and that was mad. But now they've got all the draft picks off the Jets, so maybe they've decided we're not doing free agency, we're doing the draft. So before that trade with the Jets, I was sitting there thinking, do they realise how bad their team is? Yeah. But now it looks like they're going to address it with the bounty of second round picks they've got. So
it'd be quite interesting. I wonder whether they'll do a few trade ups to get some. If I was them, I'd do that to get some blue chip players rather than just trying to get a load of players.
You've got a load. You could get back into the bottom of the first by trading a couple of them. You've got all the number 2 picks in the world now. You might be able to get back in, which is fair. Before then, as I said, I couldn't believe what they're doing, because the Texans, the Titans and the Jags all got better, I think. And then the Colts were sitting there like with a quarterback with one arm and no players.
That's kind of, I think it's just kind of had their arms strapped behind the back, because they don't know what's happening with him. I think, you know, they need to find out whether he can get through a season, because what do you do? Do you stockpile those picks? Do you stockpile money, cap room and all that type of stuff to go out and get the next quarterback? Because if Andrew Luck's a failure, they're going to have to do something big, and we don't know whether he's going to do that. Colts fans will tell you if he's fit, he can get them to the Super Bowl. I have question marks over that even now. He's clearly a good QB.
He throws a lot of picks. People seem to forget that every time we did get a couple of AFC championships, we smashed them. It wasn't even close. We absolutely destroyed them, and he didn't play well. I always felt the Colts were soft, and I don't think they've changed that. Just on one positive note for the team that we always smash to pieces, I like what the Browns have done. Yeah. The Browns have actually got some talented players. They've, you know, I like getting Landry, I like getting Carlos Hyde, I even like getting Tyrod Taylor. If you're going to have a crappy QB who's going to survive you a year, Tyrod Taylor's fine.
At least don't give one to give the ball to the team.
It's not the Sean Kaiser, you know what I mean? It's not AJ McCadden.
Yeah. Sean Kaiser, keep an eye out on him.
The new Huntley.
they've got better players.
Yeah.
If it were, I'll never trust any from the Browns do.
No,
But on paper, they've
that's
got
why.
better
That's why
kind
they're
of
not.
reticent to put them
Yeah,
as you like.
it's not why they were. I thought about it for a second, saying they'd be winners, and then went, no. Let's stick with the Patriots. And I know what I'm talking about there.
Last news from me before we go, the Packers need the corner so bad. They just need someone. Really,
I'm fine with the business that they've done.
I like Graham, I like Wilkerson. They need a corner so bad, and they might draft one, and then they'll have a first rounder, a rookie and a guy on his second year as their starting corners. I would like an experienced corner. It looks like Morgan Burnett's going to go
Don't listen to Steve, don't get any. It's fine.
It looks like
you
Burnett's
can do it
going
without corners. Corners are overrated. Ask Gruden.
Yeah, maybe. Burnett's going to the Steelers, I think. So I don't know. Our secondary doesn't look, but it's very young at the moment. The most experienced starter at the minute is going to be Clinton Dix, who's very good, but I would have loved them to go and get like a veteran leadership type player. So if they don't do that by now, then they're gonna struggle, I think.
Would you have liked McCourty?
I'd have took anyone, honestly. I'd have took any half decent. I have my eye on Gaines, who's still available, so maybe Fuller, Butler. I'd have took any of them. Sherman, just someone.
What's the guy who failed the medical?
Granted.
Or Brashad Breeland.
Yeah.
He failed the medical, so
Packers, yeah, but he's going to be fine. Like the medical he's failed, it's just you got to wait that out and then he'll be fine.
Possibly,
most
but
likely.
then the Packers medical staff are the most cautious people in the world, so I don't know. They need to go and get a corner.
Not according to Martell's Bennett.
We should have picked. But yeah, the Packers, unless they sort that second job, we look very vulnerable there. In a division where the best team have got better, we need to get better as well. And so far we haven't. Listen, he could draft this corner and he could be, he could be the next whoever, he could be the next Sherman, he could be whoever, but they're going to be very, very young in the second year. And that tends not to work. You always need that one veteran in there, and we kind of haven't got it.
Cool. Okay, well there you go. That's our winners and losers of free agency. Let us know yours in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Cover 2 TV. I nearly said Redmen TV then. To Cover 2 TV while you're over here. And if you like footy as well, go and subscribe to Redmen TV. That's it from me, from Snee, and from Jeno. We'll see you next week on Cover 2 TV.